Pistorius in the dock, days after he shot and killed Reeva Steenkamp. One person never saw this day. She was the woman Pistorius arguably loved the most. Meet Sheila Pistorius, Oscar's mother. When the superstar athlete was just a young boy, he had no idea that time with his mother was running out.
Okay, now it's time to sing.
This rare footage captures Oscar sitting next to his mother and brother Carl, celebrating a friend's birthday.
Happy birthday to you, happy birthday to you, and the best year you ever had.
Oscar is smiling and mischievous, encouraging his friend to shove his face into his birthday cake and then doing the same.
This is the grossest, most grossest birthday party I've ever been to. Yuck!
His mother doesn't scold him. She joins in. Gillian Silcock clearly remembers these moments with Sheila Pistorius, a woman she regarded as her best friend.
She was just a normal mum who loved her kids, fought for them, fought medical aids, got Oscar prostheses, grew with him. One day she was looking out of the kitchen window and Carl was playing around and Emmy was toddling around and Oscar was stomping around in the dog's bowl. And she shouted out of the window, "Oscar, get out of the dog's bowl, you're wetting your feet." And then she realized that he didn't feel that. So she just said, "Oh, carry on in the dog's bowl, Oscar."
Silcock describes Sheila Pistorius as a committed Christian and a caring mom. But as this footage shows, she was also free-spirited and fun. The tragedy of what would unfold was still years away. Underneath the smiles and laughter, Sheila Pistorius was privately coping with being a single mom after her marriage to Oscar's father, eNCA, failed.
She said one day, Henk came to fetch them for the weekend and I saw them drive away. She said that really broke her heart. It was a difficult time, very difficult time, and I don't know if she ever really got over the sadness of a broken marriage. It's a sad thing to go through. But I'll tell you what she did. When there was no money, the children didn't ever really know because she made things fun.
I'm a Barbie girl in a Barbie world. It's fantastic.
Crept on tiptoe to the mighty wall and grabbed the mirror off the wall.
This footage shows Sheila Pistorius acting in a play at the Allen Glen High School, where she was employed as a secretary. She organized Christian raves and foam parties.
Please, Mr. Pope, really can't you take a joke? It's only March and we very moe. Order clock, work and craft and go along when all we want to do is just rest a while.
Sheila Pistorius wrote letters to her children throughout their lives. Oscar Pistorius would begin his 2009 autobiography, Blade Runner, with an excerpt from one of them, written to him just 5 months before surgeons performed bilateral amputations on his legs. He spoke about her words to him during an interview with eNCA's Pat Pillay.
The real loser is never the person who crosses the finishing line last. The real loser is the person who sits on the side, the person who does not even try to compete. And of course, you're quoting your mother.
Yeah, I mean, she was a really strong, pivoting point in our lives, and she really, made the point of saying, if you want to do something, go, into it full-heartedly, even if if you don't succeed at it, try a couple of times, and if you don't succeed, you can look back at it and say, well, that really wasn't for me, but you don't have to have a regret at the end of the day, and that was something that she really believed in. If you didn't get involved, then you're missing out. But if you got involved and you still didn't succeed the way that you may have had expectations to, then you've still achieved something in giving it a go.
Oscar Pistorius would write that he and his brother and sister were brought up with an iron rule: never to say, "I can't." A radio interview recorded when Oscar was 14 reveals her deep faith in God and her pride in all her children.
Oscar has a well-rounded personality and a fabulously positive outlook on life, with a good self-image, which certainly rubs off on everybody around him. He's been a tremendous source of encouragement to many people, ranging from diabetics who've had to have their legs amputated, even depressives, amputees, and even a lifesaver in Plettenberg Bay whose leg was severed off in one of South Africa's most vicious shark attacks 3 years ago. And he's just a very popular, well-respected boy, and I certainly deem it a privilege to know him and be his mom.
Sheila, you must be immensely proud of Oscar.
Yes, I am. I'm very proud of him and my other 2 children as well. They are fantastic children, and I really thank the Lord for everything that he's done for them and that he's going to do in their future.
The Oscar Pistorius the world got to know was a young man who seemed to have it all: fast cars, beautiful women, good looks, and athletic skill. But he is also a man whose life has been defined by loss. His parents' marriage ended in divorce, and at age 15, his mother would be taken from him too. She had remarried months earlier and, aged just 42, unexpectedly fell ill. Oscar Pistorius has written that his mother was misdiagnosed with hepatitis and received the incorrect treatment. Then, on the 6th of March 2002, Sheila Pistorius' children were rushed to a hospital bed.
She had had a brain hemorrhage at that point, and she didn't go. She didn't let go and be with her dad in heaven until the boys got there, and they were held up in a traffic jam on the freeway, so they took a long time to come, and she waited. But when her boys walked in, they were able, to see her and say goodbye. And she waited, because after a short period of time, 15 minutes or so, she went after her sons arrived.
Sheila Pistorius' death was devastating to her children.
I know that their mum was their beloved mum. There's no one that can take her place.
It's impossible to know how Sheila Pistorius would have reacted to her son's murder trial, but her best friend has this view.
She would continue to love, and I don't think she would stop praying for God's plan to carry on in Oscar's life.
Sheila Pistorius' children commemorated the day of her birth and her death during Oscar's murder trial. She clearly remains an invisible and ever-present force in their lives, even if all they have are memories.
Know more. eNCA.com